Let's talk about what's unfolding in Tokyo right now, because the political atmosphere is thick with tension, yet strangely quiet on the surface. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has stepped into leadership with a clear intention to put her stamp on Japan's economic future, specifically through the nation's tax system. But here's where it gets immediately complicated. She has ignited a serious debate over who pays what and how much, yet the very party that propelled her to power, the Liberal Democratic Party, has responded with a silence that is both noticeable and strategically loaded. This isn't just a policy discussion. This is a window into the real power dynamics and challenges facing Japan today. So let's break it down from the beginning. Sanae Takaichi is known for her firm stance on fiscal discipline and a vision for a more assertive Japan. But her policy leanings often involve significant financial reallocation. The core of her current tax debate revolves around potential adjustments aimed at stimulating certain sectors while possibly bolstering defense spending, as she has long advocated for. However, the moment the conversation turns from the what to the how, everything seems to stall. The funding mechanisms are delayed, and the LDP's usual chorus of support and clarification has faded into a murmur. This silence is the first major story of her premiership, because in politics, silence is never just silence. It is a calculated move or a sign of deep internal conflict. Consider the LDP's historical position. For decades, the party has managed a delicate balancing act, maintaining stable government finances while navigating the economic sensitivities of the public and powerful business interests. Any talk of tax changes triggers immediate alarms across the board, from small shop owners in Osaka to major corporations in Nagatacho. So when a new leader from within their own ranks proposes a shift, the party machinery usually swings into action to frame the debate, to reassure stakeholders, and to control the narrative. But this time, that machinery is quiet, and that tells us one of two things. Either this is a deliberate strategy, giving Takaichi space to own the proposal and its initial backlash before the party steps in to broker a compromise, or, more intriguingly, it signals a rift, a hesitation, or even a disagreement so profound that senior party figures would rather say nothing than reveal a fractured front. This funding delay they're not talking about is the practical heart of the issue. Announcing a tax vision without a concrete funding plan is like announcing a new bullet train without laying any tracks. It creates uncertainty in the markets. It creates anxiety among voters who wonder if services will be cut or other taxes will rise. And it gives the opposition an easy target to criticize the entire agenda as unserious or poorly planned. The delay could stem from simple bureaucratic hurdles, but in the context of this silence, it feels political. It suggests the numbers aren't adding up in a way that satisfies key factions within the LDP, or perhaps the traditional sources of revenue are too politically toxic to touch right now. Now let's look at the public reaction, which is still forming. Without clear details from the government, the media is filling the vacuum with speculation and analysis, which in turn shapes public perception. Some see Takaichi as a bold reformer, finally tackling tough issues. Others see a leader moving too quickly without party support, which is a dangerous position in Japanese consensus-driven politics. The global impact is also noteworthy. International investors and neighboring countries are watching closely. Japan's fiscal health is a global concern, given its massive public debt. Any sign of political instability or unclear economic direction can affect bond markets and regional economic planning. So this isn't just a domestic kitchen table issue. This is about Japan's role and stability on the world stage. So what does the future hold? Several possibilities exist. First, the LDP could break its silence with a unified plan, rallying behind Takaichi and presenting a delayed but cohesive funding strategy. Second, the silence could continue until internal negotiations either water down the original tax proposals or scrap them entirely, leading to Takaichi's first major political setback. Third, this could become a protracted internal battle, visible through leaks and indirect criticisms, weakening the government's overall authority. The truth is, Prime Minister Takaichi's leadership is being tested, not by the opposition, but from within her own party's quiet corridors. The tax debate itself is important, but the story of the funding delay and the silence that surrounds it is the real measure of her power and the LDP's current state. This is how political narratives shift, not always with loud protests, but with quiet, unresolved questions hanging in the air of the Diet. We will be watching to see who speaks next and what they finally decide to say, because that will determine the next chapter for Japan's economy and for Takaichi's premiership.